Man, how is Rebel Wilson going to go live on Facebook exactly the same time we are? That's
Oh no, I'd like to have part of her fan base. That'd be kind of nice.
crap.
I don't I don't think our audience is being drawn away by her
I
nor hers by us. So
I
uh,
choose to believe. I choose to believe, my brother. I choose to believe.
if Io doesn't show up, we're gonna know he's into Australian comedians.
Oh man. Oh
That's funny.
no,
Is
no, no, no. Okay, she just posted a new video.
oh,
Okay, so
okay.
she's not live. She's not live. Okay.
Okay. Well,
Okay, cool.
I if I can, it says connecting. So I think we might be live. Can you check? Can you tell? Oh, yep.
I'm looking. I'm looking.
I think we are. Yep. I see us. I
There
see
it
our pretty faces. So,
is.
hey everybody. If you aren't tuning in to watch Rebel Wilson, um, or if you are and you're like, these are two dudes from America, not a really funny chick from Australia.
Exactly.
But we'll do our best. So this is the Evan and Aaron
Yeah,
show. I'm Aaron. This is my buddy Evan. He's over here,
I
maybe. I
guess.
don't know, depending on your screen.
No, no, good
Um,
call.
and yeah, this is our show. This is episode 77. We've been at it for a minute, and it's
Wow.
just churning along with the same, 4 to 7 viewers each week. But I tell you what, folks, you're loyal, and we love you. And God knows who watches this on YouTube because I don't really get any data on that. So anyway,
I
man,
guess as long as someone named Kim Jong Un doesn't
right?
respond or reply, I think we'll be okay. I don't know.
I
Who
don't know,
cares?
man. I'll take that North Korea money.
Ooh.
I mean, I'm not
Um.
going.
Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah. I
Well,
know. I know. But then you'll have Dennis
I was
Rodman.
gonna
You know what
say,
I
man,
mean?
I'm gonna phone Dennis Rodman and be like, hey, man, can we head
You
over?
get us in.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know a guy? Um,
You know a guy.
Speaking of, in a roundabout way, um,
How are you
real
going to connect this? How are you going to connect North Korea to anything, dude? Okay. I got to hear this.
It's more the Dennis Rodman connection.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
for those who may, I know you are of a different persuasion, perhaps, but for those who weren't aware, the real college sport started last night. College basketball has begun, and our respective teams got off to a good, if not sort of rocky start. Both our games were
Yeah.
probably a little closer than we would have liked. Purdue got a big win over Bellarmine, and I got to be honest, I thought for the longest time that Bellarmine was like a Division II or Division III school because I'd heard about it. We played them in soccer when I was in college, so I'm like,
You did.
what the shit?
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
they took us apart as far as I
Good.
recall. So maybe that's why they were Division One and we were Division Three, but still. But yeah, college basketball has kicked off. I love it. I was finding the last week or so to be a little slow. The little bit of time there between the ending of baseball and the beginning of college basketball, you've really got to make do. And if your particular football team isn't doing all that well, then tune into the hockey, I guess.
There you go.
As they
There
say
you
in
go.
hockey, let's do that hockey. But
Let's do the
yeah,
hockey.
we've gotten off to a good start. And then it just in honor of, because they did win last night, but more
Well
importantly,
done.
IU soccer today in overtime after 3 manic back-to-back-to-back saves by Roman Celentano in goal, went down to the other end and scored the game winner. College soccer plays golden goal. IU won over Pitt. No, wait, I take that back. IU won over Northwestern. Pitt's not even in our conference. IU won over Northwestern and will play Penn State at noon on Sunday in the Big Ten Championship. So
Wonderful.
if you're
Wonderful.
into that sort
Well
of thing,
done.
yeah. I'm
Well
just here to
done.
recap. In bigger news, though, there have
Mhm.
been a couple trials that have kicked off in the last couple of weeks,
Yep.
and court trials, not like test phases, and I think they're an interesting reflection on kind of where we are societally You know what
Mhm.
I think the outcomes of these trials are going to say an awful lot, or cause us to further say a lot about kind of where we are in a lot of places. And
Yeah.
they're two very very different trials, but I think ultimately there's an intersection of things with these. Ahmad Arbury was a black man who was seemingly out for a jog and stopped to look at a house being built. And I don't know what kind of small town you were growing up in, but when you walked around and somebody's building a new house, lots of people come and check it out. Hey, how's the plumbing coming along? Let's look at the
Right.
structure. It's really not unusual.
Yep.
They do see him on surveillance footage. He didn't do anything. He's just poking around. But the two local yokels there and their buddy decided to follow him and as far as I can tell, harass him, and ultimately it ended up in him being shot and killed. And there was obviously a cover up. The sheriff's department or police department didn't really want to do much about it. It took a lot of extra effort, and months later, um, there were charges filed. Whereas, the Kyle Rittenhouse thing is, protests were going on because of another killing of a black man in Kenosha, Wisconsin, for that one. But,
Yep.
um, yet again, excessive force being used when by all accounts, it seems like it was not necessary. We weren't there. But the protests were things that were happening. We went to a few ourselves, and for whatever reason, this 17-year-old kid showed up with an AR-15 assault rifle, and sort of deputized himself to look after the city of Kenosha, and bad
Mhm.
and even worse things happened. So I don't know how much you've had, and I've kind of talked for a little bit here without really saying a whole lot. But what are your thoughts about these two trials? Am I conflating things, or do you think there is a little bit of intersection of where we stand in our culture right now? And I don't want to speculate, but how do you think these are going?
Well, I told you at the beginning, and I got to be honest. As far as the Ahmad Arbery trial goes, I've been kind of disconnected from things, and I haven't had a chance to really pay attention to that trial. So let me talk about something that I did see. So today on the stand, I guess Kyle Rittenhouse broke down and was kind of explaining himself, saying that he was doing it in self-defense. Um, you know, a couple of things right there. This is going to be highly controversial, what I'm about to say. Shouldn't be, but it is. Um, I see in that picture, I see a kid um, that that to allowed himself to be a part of something that he really didn't understand. Um, he did not take the time to try and put himself into the shoes of the protesters. He did not take the time, as many other people did as well, who deputized themselves to go. He didn't take the time to put himself in the shoes of POC and people of color at all. And he made an incredible mistake, and he needs to be held accountable for that. Even though he is, and once again, everybody's a kid to me because I'm old, but he needs to be held accountable.
Hmm.
I want to look past that though, because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, even if I did do something for self-defense, after I shot the first person, I probably would leave
Yeah.
because it's like, oh crap, I shot somebody. Um, you can't shoot two people in separate locations and necessarily tell me that both of those were for self-defense and that they were totally unprovoked. I don't see it. It doesn't calculate. It doesn't add
Mhm.
up for me. And while the human side of me feels for this kid, this other human, the justice side of me has to beg for justice to be done. Um, is it about making Kyle Rittenhouse an example for everyone else? No. It's about holding him accountable, just like you would hold anyone else accountable for taking someone's life after you took it into your own hands to go somewhere where law enforcement was already present.
Yeah.
That's the big thing for me. I'm like, law enforcement was already there. You wouldn't have to quote unquote defend yourself or claim self-defense if your ass wasn't there.
Right.
Keep your ass at home.
Well, and this is
And
where
if you
his
don't,
mother has
yeah,
responsibility as well.
well, not well, okay, yeah, I'm gonna put the responsibility up, yeah, but you remember as well as I do, Aaron, like when we were that age and stuff like that, we wanted to get out, we got out. I mean, it was like, okay, yeah, you think I'm gonna be in my room? Nope, I'm gonna go chill with the boys, and sneak back in and stuff like. I hold his mom responsible because she drove him there.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
She purchased the gun.
Purchased the gun, drove him there. But my man, this ain't all on your mom.
No.
She didn't pull the trigger. She didn't raise the gun. She didn't beg to go.
Yeah.
It's on you. And so as much as like I said, as much as my humanness made me feel for this young human,
Mhm.
crying on the bench, giving all that stuff, I'm like, you know what, bro, you live in a society of laws. You took the law in your own hands and you broke the law.
Mhm.
You broke it.
Yeah.
And we are so fast. And this is the other thing too, and I'll shut up. But we are so fast whenever somebody gets to popping on 10th and Emerson, we're so fast to say, oh, they killed somebody. We need to get, and boom. No, there's no media hype. There's nothing like that. But they killed one person. It's like, oh shoot, we got to go. Once again, you killed one person and then went to another place and killed yet another person.
Yeah.
That's called a shooting rampage. In my opinion, if that were me,
Yeah,
that's called a shooting rampage, man. And like I said, I'm calling it for what historically is seen in America. That's all I'm saying.
well, as we've been sitting here and talking about it, I just can't help but see so many parallels. Both situations involve a person or multiple people deputizing themselves in a situation that didn't warrant it, was not necessary. Right? Kyle Rittenhouse drove from a state away. It was not an imminent threat to him. The father and son and the third person that followed Ahmad Arbury freely admit they were just observing this guy. That, yes, they may have had a series of break-ins and thefts in their neighborhood, and they were being diligent. Well, okay. Calling the police is being diligent. That man is not armed. He's not a threat to anyone in the area. And you know he's on surveillance footage, and you have a good description of him. You've done your job as a citizen. Hello, police. There's a suspicious person in our neighborhood, and yeah, that's terrible too. But still, if that's what you thought, then that's the extent, right? But you got an awful lot of people now, for whatever reason, who think that the Second Amendment now extends to deputizing themselves and stand your ground and castle doctrine and all this shit.
Yep.
And the specific law in Georgia has actually been repealed. sense that allows people to, make citizens arrests and do shit like that. And every state's probably got some version of that. But, in this amped up, I own a gun, I own 27 guns kind of world. And again, Kyle Rittenhouse said he's grown up idolizing law enforcement. He would like to be a law enforcement officer. He said he showed up to be a helper, law enforcement, and medic. Bro, you're 17. I bet there's an internship. I'm just saying.
Exactly.
But another parallel I see is the failure, yet again, of the police to first go round do the right thing. Ahmad Arbury. You've got a murder scene. You can't just take these two guys' word for it. And the second you see the footage of this all screams, you chased down an unarmed man and engaged with him. He stood his ground. Now that would have been interesting if he'd have stood his ground and killed those two guys. What kind of conversation would we be having about Ahmad Arbury? But again, the police or the sheriff's department, whoever responded, failed to bring charges, failed to arrest the guys, and until it got looked into, 5 months later, you didn't see anything. Yeah. Kyle Rittenhouse walked up to the police trying to surrender, saying he'd shot somebody, and they at first thought he was potentially an active shooter, so they pepper sprayed him. And then they let him go. They actually thanked him for his help.
Wow, I didn't hear that. Wow, that's crazy.
And, these are two ongoing trials. And I obviously have an opinion about things, but I'm trying to take in the information that's coming, listen to the facts.
Right.
But man, in both of these cases, it's really, really hard for me to not see these parallels of somebody who empowered themselves, inserted themselves into a situation that they didn't need to be in, and ended up shooting people, killing people because of their actions. The conversation could stop right there as far as the trials are concerned. If you weren't there, if you didn't do what you did, this man wouldn't be dead. That's murder to me.
Exactly. But now that begs the question, why is there a trial? Think about it.
There's a trial because there's due process in America, supposedly.
There you go. That's what I was getting at, man. Because I'm a believer in due process. Absolutely, believer in due process. But I believe it looks very different for different people.
Yes,
I think it looks very, very different. And if we valued Ahmad Arbery's life as much as we value Kyle Rittenhouse's life, I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm like, first of all, why would we make this big, why would we make this big media circus out of it? Yes. He would be just another murderer, another person that killed someone in front of a judge, say, okay, this, yep, nope, you're gone, 20 years, peace, bye.
Yeah.
Just like, once again, people who live in areas, and I'm not even pointing out color, because we all know, but people who live in areas where the melanin content of their skin is a little bit more richer than others. We don't see this, Aaron. We don't see, Marion County Circuit Court, 3. We don't see those try to say, oh my God, was he mentally ill, or did he really commit this murder? Oh, we don't see that. It's like, lock that up. Literally, that's the sentiment, in my opinion. And once again, I have a very specific frame in which I look through life. But how can you not notice the parallels that you're talking about?
Well, and then there's the institutional parallel, I think. The actual, how the trial is being done. Ahmad Arbury was killed by a father and son, white father and son, one of whom was a former deputy?
And
the third guy that filmed it was white. And they were openly racist toward him. They had a Confederate flag license plate on their vehicle. Kyle Rittenhouse is openly flashing white supremacy signs and yucking it up in a bar, which he wasn't allowed to be in as well, but I don't give a shit so much about that. But yucking it up in a bar with white supremacists. Ahmad Arbury is a dead black man in Georgia being judged by an almost all-white jury, one of whom was dismissed for making a joke. Or wait, do I have that wrong? That's the wrong jury. I believe that's in the Kyle Rittenhouse jury. I think that guy made yeah, he did. He made a joke about Jacob Blake, the person who was shot, which started the protests.
Wow.
Right. But Ahmad Arbury had, it's a jury of whose peers in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Ahmad Arbury is, and I'm not disparaging those 11 white people. I don't know them, but I think an awful lot of people see the subtext of that and think, not jury of whose peers. Meanwhile, in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, you've got a judge who ruled that the plaintiffs could not refer to the people who were shot and killed as victims, but that the defense could refer to them as looters and rioters so long as they could prove that people were looting and rioting. Well, they've already failed to do that because the second guy who got shot and testified was an off-duty paramedic. I mean, he was going around trying to help people, and he had a concealed carry. His permit had expired, but he had a concealed carry. He routinely did.
Yep.
I don't know. I keep seeing this. The judge in the Rittenhouse case has been very vocal, far more vocal than you expect from a judge, and he's sort of editorializing at times. I'm not. To me, this is a microcosm of an awful lot of things going on in our society, and none of them are positive. None of them point to anything good, unless prosecution proves their cases and some sort of justice and accountability takes place.
I agree, 100%. Well, I know it's a little bit early, but I say let's go ahead and let's hit halftime. Hey guys, I just ran this by Aaron at the beginning of the podcast. I had an idea for this month. This month is Men's Health Month, November, and it had really part of the reason that I wanted to do this was because of that. But then I was like, wait a minute, let's not just do guys. Let's make this open for everyone. It is random, like super random shot month. So we are going to dedicate shots each week to like just super random people that you guys probably know. So I will start. My shot goes to the one guy that I could always rely on, coming on every evening, making sure that logic was at the forefront of everything that I did, and showing me how to properly do this.
Whoa.
My shot is for Leonard Nimoy, ladies and gentlemen. May he rest in peace.
Oh,
Leonard Nimoy. Right?
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Cheers to.
There you go.
Cheers to Mr. Spock.
You got anything for us, Aaron? Any randomness?
You've thrown me an absolute curveball with that.
I know.
So randomly along those lines, I'm gonna shout out Dean Stockman. Famous actor. He was probably most famous for being Al. Al, why haven't we left yet? On Quantum Leap.
No.
But he was also a favorite of David Lynch. He's fantastic in Blue Velvet. Just a tremendous actor. He passed away, sadly.
Oh, man. Quantum Leap. There you go. Oh, oh my. Oh,
All right, switching gears a little bit to justice and accountability. The January 6th Commission has issued several more subpoenas, now including um, uh, I can't remember if it was Kelly Conway or Kayleigh McEnany.
Kayleigh
Say
what
that 5
McEnany?
times fast.
What's her McEnany?
McEnany. Hootenanny.
McEnany? Hootenanny? Yeah,
Mark
that's her.
Meadows. Now, here's the thing: these subpoenas don't do any good if they're not going to hold people in contempt of Congress when they show up and
Thank
don't say
you.
anything, like should happen with Steve Bannon.
He should be arrested.
Well, I'd like to believe they're playing the long game on this one, so they've got an airtight case in all these situations. But yet again, this is an example of Democrats, talk a big fucking game and then don't really back it up with a whole lot when they have the power. But it would be nice to see something happen. What was good to see was the judge dismissed Trump's team's, wanting to block the ability to see those documents. So
we're going to get the papers.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, this is one of those weird things, to feel about, because I'm pretty confident they were doing shady shit, and I'd like to see evidence of that and them be held accountable. But goddamn, it is tough to just sit around and think about. I mean, it's a year ago, we were just getting over, I'm sorry, 5 years ago, we were just getting over a dramatic loss.
Yeah.
That this guy TFG was going to be the man holding office, and we all sat through this debacle, and pretty much literally watched crime taking place in real time. So it'd be nice if there was accountability for this, and I don't know what that means. I don't know the law in this specific case well enough, but at a minimum, the people involved in these things shouldn't be allowed to hold office. Trump shouldn't be allowed to run for office. If Marjorie Taylor Greene was showing people around the days leading up to this in planning sessions with insurrectionists, I mean, I'm not asking for these people to be hung from, a yardarm.
No,
but go the fuck away.
Yeah. You're right, Aaron. I mean, you're absolutely right, dude. I think it's incredibly complicated, first of all, to remove a member of Congress.
Yeah.
It's incredibly complicated.
As
There's
it
a
should
lot
be.
Yeah, as it should be, because you could have all kinds of shit go down. So multiply that by 1,000. And that's what we have, facing, not we, but that's what, those who want to go after Trump are facing right now. I am going to stand next to, my guns that I brought out last week, and continue to admit I was wrong. But we need to stop focusing on this man. We've got to stop focusing on, because here's the thing. I'm with you. I really do think, I believe, I've got to believe that Merrick Garland has something that they're going after. I've got to believe that the wheels of justice turn incredibly slow, but they're still turning.
Well, let me interject real quick on him. I'll say this.
Please.
If Merrick Garland doesn't act on this, doesn't follow through, then one, it's a pretty damn good thing he didn't end up on the bench, because clearly he doesn't have any spine. And two, Biden should get rid of him and replace him.
Yeah.
Because your job is to act on these recommendations. And you subpoenaed somebody, and they're openly defying you. They're making you look weak.
Yeah. Sorry. You got to put some teeth to it. Some teeth to it, man. I mean, it is basic American civics that we're talking about here. When you are in contempt of court, you go to jail. When you are in contempt of, one of the highest entities in the land, Congress, you must go to jail. You've got to go to jail. Bringing it full circle, I totally see not necessarily making Kyle Rittenhouse like, an example. You've got to make an example out of Bannon. You have
Yes.
got to make every minute he is
Green,
outside of
Boebert,
jail.
it,
Yeah,
any of
every
them that
minute
were
they're
involved with
outside,
this.
they're laughing at you.
You did
They
not get to
are
openly
laughing.
foment insurrection against this country and then talk about being a patriot.
Exactly.
I'm just, look, if you legit thought that there were problems with the election, you had your opportunities to prove it, and you failed. You failed in 61 different cases ruled on by a majority of judges that Trump appointed.
Yeah.
So I'm so sick of this cognitive dissonance of people being like, oh, the vote was stolen. Your own people. This isn't Democrats lying to you, blowing smoke up to your ass. Your own people who say the guy in Georgia voted for fucking Trump, says he supports him. And you think he's the one that got paid off? You think he's the guy?
And we hear nothing. We hear nothing from Virginia. Oh, no, we won. Okay. Yeah. So all of a sudden, you're not concerned about voter fraud anymore. You're not concerned about it being stolen because, oh, now it works. Okay. We see you.
Well, I think we've been seeing it for quite a while, but I think we've seen this week that this notion that they're the moral party, that their ethics are so above everyone else's and that they're setting the tone. Look, I remember several years ago finding out that Gabby Giffords got shot in the head while giving a public appearance at like a local grocery store, just talking to constituents. And then finding out that the Republican Party in her area had put out flyers in media with bullseyes on her.
Oh, wow.
And just this week, Representative Paul Gosar, who's been disowned by his entire family for being just the ultimate prick, released a video that had been doctored so it looked like it was an anime video. I haven't watched it. It was an anime video of him killing Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and then swinging scimitars at Joe Biden. Now, Kathy Griffin, who's kind of a C-list comedian, got in trouble because she had a terrible photo of her being bloody holding a fake Donald Trump head. And she was rightly investigated and censured for it.
Yep.
Explain to me why Paul Gosar isn't. Why is he getting a pass? But more importantly, this rhetoric gets people shot. And we know it. And I would not in any way condone this. Look, I don't have any issue at all with people going, "Let's go, Brandon." I think it's silly.
Yeah.
But you know what? If that's what fires you up, if that's cool for you, fine. Because I know people were saying, tuck frump and things like that.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Look,
sure.
You're allowed to speak that level of shit. You're not allowed to openly pretend that you're threatening somebody's life. Even more so if you're a sitting member of Congress.
I think that there's so much hypocrisy going on here. And you're right, the dissonance that's happening and just being overlooked. Shame on Steve Scalise. Dude, you were shot and almost died in a freaking softball game. The entire membership of the House came around you and supported you. And yet you are talking shit about people who were getting ready to break in and hang Mike Pence. I'm sorry, you're talking shit about people who want to prosecute those people. Shame on you. Shame on Boebert and Green and Hawley and Cruz. Shame on you guys. You guys say that you represent those people who are underrepresented, those people who they want to cancel. By merely saying that, you are literally canceling yourself.
Yeah.
Because there's no room. There's no room anymore for intelligence in the U.S. in U.S. politics. There's no room for it anymore until we finally decide to say, "Hey, look, enough's enough." So keep saying that stuff because you literally are canceling yourself. Because eventually people are going to be like, you know what, this is no. I've got to believe that eventually, Aaron, people will come to their senses. And I don't know if it'll be too early or too late. I don't know. But eventually people are going to come to their senses, and they would have canceled themselves out because right now there's no room for intelligence in American politics. But I think people will get so tired of this that people will come back to their senses and say, no, we need people who are intelligent. We need people who are level-headed. We need people who are going to work with each other because this two-party system is crumbling and fading in front of our faces right now. And it's because we are not uplifting intelligence. We're not uplifting, compromise. The things that built America, the things that helped us become who we are as Americans, we no longer uphold nor respect. We just don't respect it about each other. We don't expect the fact that Dr. Fauci spent decades studying infectious diseases. We don't respect anymore the fact that people who have been in politics, they're actually people who have been career politicians who are actually doing good things because they understand government. They understand law. But yet we've demonized both of those things.
Yeah.
Intelligence and experience. We've demonized it.
Yeah. Well, I think that's very correct. But I'd take it a step further, to an even baser level than, intelligence. We've lost decency. Just decency. And, I go back and forth on this because, I talked about going to the Lincoln Library and Museum over in Springfield, Illinois. And, I mean, the political cartoons of the day were horrible. Openly racist, depicting Lincoln as a monkey because he supported ending slavery. Now,
Right.
Never mind depicting black people that way. They depicted anybody who supported abolition that way.
Yep.
But in my lifetime, the pendulum has swung many, many times, but there was at least a modicum of decency, a sense of decorum, a sense of, no, we don't behave that way in public. And now, I've always thought it was silly that every day, every member of Congress shows up in a suit or a dress. I thought, it's a bit much. How about casual Fridays? But have you seen what some of these fucking people are showing up in now?
No.
Boebert's showing up like, which one of them runs the bar? Is it Boebert or Green?
Boebert, I think.
I can't, honestly, they don't look anything alike, but I can't tell them apart. They're one entity at this point. But
there you go.
One of them showed up in fucking trainers and jean shorts and like a top to session in the fucking chamber. And for the most part, I wouldn't care. But you can't tell me that you're the person upholding the decency of America and you can't respect the job itself. But I want to go back a little bit. I have no doubt that these people believed there was election fraud. I have no doubt that they believe this was their opportunity, that they thought they were fucking patriots. Our country's been stolen. This election's been stolen. My leader tells me so. I'm gonna do the most patriotic thing I can and storm the Capitol and prevent this confirmation of this vote.
Yeah. You're talking about voters, not these morons in
No, I'm talking
Congress.
about the insurrections.
Okay.
I have no doubt many of them believed this was a calling.
Sure. Sure.
But you know what? Doesn't make you righteous. Because there were an awful lot of guys who thought, you know what? These fucking Jews are the problem in the world. If we eradicate them and everybody follows our lead,
Yep.
we will have a utopia. The Third Reich.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who looks just like me will have all the freedoms, and we will have the most advanced society ever because we'll have gotten rid of those mongrels, those gays, those Jews, basically anybody who doesn't look just like me.
Right.
Until you come for me. So you know what? If you can't acknowledge the fault in those arguments, if you can't acknowledge the faux righteousness, the failed structure of your argument, your belief is a lie. Therefore, anything you do in pursuit of it does not make you righteous.
No.
That's what we've got going on here. I bet crazy shaman guys. Well, no, I'm not going to use him as an example. He's crazy as fuck. But I'm sure there's plenty of these people that, in isolation, in particular moments, we'd have a drink with at the bar.
Probably.
I'm surprised we don't know some of them. But
I mean, it is Indiana.
That doesn't mean that through line absolves you of the things you did. You made a choice. You made a choice to believe somebody that you should have known better was lying to you. You made a choice to show up at an event that was designed specifically to foment more outrage.
Yep.
And then you participated in that outrage. And you assaulted federal employees.
Yep.
You carried the flag of the biggest traitors in American history into the Capitol building. The last time foreign agents were attacking that building was the fucking British in the 1800s. Congratulations, you're now on par with the Civil War South, Nazis, and the dumbass British from the early 1800s. What a trifecta to fucking be a part of. You're shitbags. At least we hadn't made dinner for him.
God, man. Oh, well, switching to something a little lighter, but just as twisted. That's a twisted tea. Just as twisted tea. Yeah, exactly. As our discussion.
Oh God, we got to pull up those videos again.
Oh yeah, there we go. We have had yet another controversy in the NFL. Famed quarterback Aaron Rodgers for the Green Bay Packers tested positive for COVID, and after testing positive for COVID, revealed that he actually lied about being vaccinated, and he in fact was not vaccinated. And he came back and made a statement, and I want to make sure that I get this statement correct. Let me make sure I get it correct here. Yeah, here it is. So Aaron Rodgers says this. He says, "I believe strongly in body autonomy. Health is not one size fits all for everybody.
No shit.
You have a right to make decisions about your body. That should be an inalienable right." And that is a quote from Aaron Rodgers. Aaron, my friend, I wanted to get your opinion about not just that quote, but about the whole situation. Does Aaron Rodgers, all of a sudden, is he a social justice warrior on the side of women who want to actually be in control of their bodies now? Because, he is standing up against the oppressive government, making him take this evil COVID vaccine?
For those of you who just watched my comedy act, I spilled a drink
Oh, I had no idea. I was reading. I
on
had
my.
no idea,
I
dude.
spilled. You can't see my workstation, but I have a very, very large workstation here, and I'm working off of at least 2 computers
Oh,
and 3 screens. And I have spilled my cocktail on my work computer, so tomorrow could be
oh
interesting. Um,
no. Oh no.
you know,
Anyway,
Aaron Rodgers' main fuck up here was the initial lie. I'm
mm,
immunized.
mm,
Now, why that didn't set off alarm bells to reporters? I'm immunized. Bro, you didn't answer the question,
right.
right? Like,
It's a bad bit of reporting.
well, as Pat McAfee pointed out, y'all were standing there. You heard him say it. Somebody could have been kind of a slight difference here. You know,
Yeah, right.
he's absolutely right to point that out and to say, you know, I don't like him sort of hiding behind the, I just run a blog. Hey, man, you can't just ask somebody a question and give them 20 minutes to spout unfettered bullshit, which is what happened. But at the same time, the best part of that video is when Aaron Rodgers mentions Joe Rogan and Pat McAfee visibly cannot keep himself from laughing.
Yeah.
He hears him talk about Joe Rogan and he leans back and goes and
It's
like covers his own face like I like you, Aaron, but you're spouting some fucking stupid bullshit
yeah.
that you learned from goddamn Joe Rogan of all fucking
Oh
people.
my God, man. First of all, what happened to Joe Rogan, dude? Like, what the hell? Bro. I just don't understand. Anyway, please
Well,
continue.
what do you mean what happened to Joe Rogan?
Like,
This
like, no,
this
no, like,
motherfucker hosted a show where people ate raw deer dick on TV. What happened to him? He took the
well,
next he took the next fucking job. That's what he did.
the next.
The question
Oh,
is,
I thought you were going to say he took the next logical step.
well, same thing, but my question is, how's this motherfucker making millions on Spotify? Who's listening to the shit going
Right?
this also, who's tuning in for 3 hours to listen to anybody talk? Fuck you, man. There's I would listen to Sir Alex Ferguson read the fucking phone book when it came to talking about soccer, but I'd get bored after about an hour and a half and be like, "Can we break for lunch or something?" Seriously, have you ever
Patrick Stewart reading sonnets. There you go. That's
have
it.
you ever listened to somebody talking nonstop for 3.5 hours and didn't take a break? Like,
Oh
seriously,
my God. Oh,
no.
wow.
That's
No.
that's like a Putin speech or any 5-minute text from fucking Trump. I mean, it's just ridiculous bullshit.
It is, man.
And you're
It
gonna
is.
tune in to Joe Rogan and Elon Musk faux smoking a blunt, not knowing how to get fucking high. Did you see that? How bad are you at getting high, bro? You
It's
clearly
like,
don't
come
do
on.
this on a regular.
You don't. Come on, man. Quit trying to fit in. Quit trying to fit in. Oh my God.
So
And
no, I'm not having it. Not having it.
Io says, so there's several things that have been said. Nicole, you've made some
Edgelords, yep.
really good statements. Io says we can't talk about Aaron Rodgers without talking about how most of the sports media got played by him. Absolutely.
Yep.
Although I'll give props to Michael Smith who pointed that out in August. So props. And edgelords, listen to Joe Rogan. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to my favorite time of the podcast, of the pod, of whatever you want to call it, of the pod, of the Winchester. We have come to the Hey Aaron segment. And since we are in November,
Everything's all
and we
sticky.
probably will not be, podcasting on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving because I plan on being pretty roasted myself. I wanted to jump
Getting
into
roasted while we roast.
roasted while we're roasting. I want to jump into Thanksgiving and I wanted to jump into food. So we are going to together take a journey through a Thanksgiving food quiz, my friend. That's what we're going to do today. Yeah, I know. I see the angst and doubt on your face.
Well, I'm just saying we got like another week.
Well, yeah, but I've got something else.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got something special for next week. All right.
I don't say special because now I feel pressure. I feel pressure, and I'm a Cancer.
Dude,
And when Cancers feel
always
pressure, we cry, and I don't want to cry. Okay, so I'm just saying.
Okay, Kyle.
Uh, oh wow. Okay. Anyway,
Boo
I was just
fucking
waiting
who,
for somebody.
Kyle?
I was waiting for somebody to do Cartman, like just commentary on. Now, Kai is up here, and he is testifying. Anyway, that's fun.
Screw you guys. I'm going home.
So anyway, we are going to take a Thanksgiving quiz together, ladies and gentlemen, and yeah, we're going to see how much Aaron knows about traditional Thanksgiving foods. And so I'm going to share my screen, and here we go. Maybe. There we go. I got to make sure I can see you. Show video panel. There we go. Awesome. All right. So how much do you know about traditional Thanksgiving foods? Aaron, first of all, first question. According to some historians, the most historically accurate Thanksgiving libation is champagne, wine, hard cider, or whiskey.
I'm going to go with hard cider.
And you would be right, my friend. You would be absolutely right. Good job. Yeah, hard cider, apples. You had them laying around. Whatever. Anyway, question number 2. Mashed potatoes were served at the first Thanksgiving in Plymouth.
I'm going to say false. I think mashed potatoes are a French invention from a bit after that.
Good call. Good call.
Invention. I'm going to mash this vegetable. You invented
Invention. Somebody had. Okay, I'm going to say this about mashed potatoes. I have got to believe that someone was drunk. I got to believe it.
Ask yourself who made the first cake. I'm going to take this egg, and I'm going to take this flour, and I'm going to bake it.
Yes. Yes. I contest that most inventions were made by drunk people. Okay. The first recorded instance of the word gravy dates from 1967, 2000 BCE, the 17th century, or the 14th century.
17th century.
No, my friend. It's the 14th century.
Okay.
According to the Oxford English Dictionary, the first instance appears around 1390 in the English cookbook Form of Curry, although it's spelled
Also, for the record, Form of Curry is the least uttered phrase by the Wonder Twins.
You know the most uttered phrase? Form of water. Yeah. I mean, it's like, come on, guys, for God's sake. Anyway, which state produces the most turkeys annually? Illinois, Ohio, Wisconsin, or Minnesota? Gobble, gobble, MFer.
Do you already know the answers to these questions?
I do.
Ohio.
That would be wrong.
Really? Minnesota. I thought it was going to be Ohio or Illinois because I thought Illinois and Minnesota, or I'm sorry, Wisconsin and Minnesota would just be a little too cold.
I don't know. I'm like, okay, do turkeys, I guess.
I have no context for this question.
Yeah, I have no idea, but hey, it's all right. True or false, turkey is to blame for your post-Thanksgiving dinner nap.
It is not. It's a misconception, but I do love me some, tryptophan.
Tryptophan. Contrary to popular belief, turkey doesn't contain enough L-tryptophan to put you to sleep.
Nope.
However.
But Grandpa talking about shit does.
Well, I was going to say Uncle Aaron's special stash somewhere, may. You never know. I'm just saying.
Or make you eat more turkey.
Right.
It's a vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle, man. Cranberries and Concord grapes are two of the three commercially grown fruits native to the United States. Which is the other one? Plums, peaches, apples, or blueberries?
Peaches.
No. That would be the blueberry, my friend.
Really?
The blueberry. Yeah, it's crazy.
So somebody introduced peaches to the South. That's interesting to know.
Yeah, it is.
Bet they're pissed about that. Don't teach that in school. Critical.
No. Don't do that.
It's critical peach theory.
Yeah, exactly. It probably came over from those black people. Anyway, true or false? Pumpkin pie was served at the first Thanksgiving in 1621.
I'm gonna say false. I'm not seeing a whole lot of pumpkins grown in the Northeast in 1621.
You're absolutely right, my friend. That is false. That is false. What do people? And this is one I did not have to even click on to know. What do people in the southern U.S. call the bread-based mix served with roast turkey? Is it breading, stuffing, dressing, or pudding?
We call it stuffing, so I'm gonna assume they call it dressing.
My man. Yes,
Yeah,
you
okay.
are absolutely right. Called dressing. Drop the G.
Well,
Dressing. That's it. All right.
Grandma got a
What is
dressing gown on.
What's the relationship between yams and sweet potatoes? Are they the same thing? Are yams a kind of sweet potato? Are they totally different? Or are sweet potatoes a kind of yam?
That's a fucked up question. I'm sure the answer is either yams are a kind of sweet potato, sweet potatoes are a kind of yam, but I'm going to say they're the same damn thing. Because I don't like the way this question's worded.
They're totally different.
They're totally different?
Totally different. I would not make a yam pie. I would make a sweet potato pie, not a yam pie. No.
What's the shit? It grows in South America. That's very similar. It's purple. You know what I'm talking about? It's a very starchy. It looks very similar.
Oh, crap! Nope. Oh wait, all the sweet potatoes in Nigeria look different. Oh, they do look. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, interesting. I don't know, Aaron. I don't know. But I'm gonna keep this moving.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, did you find it?
No, I didn't. I'm not looking it up. I don't care that much.
True or false? There's an 18th century version of the turducken.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely there was. It involved putting a pigeon, partridge, a fowl, which I'm guessing is probably kind of a small chicken, maybe, and a goose inside a turkey.
So a pig part fowl goosey.
Ooh. Oh. Dude, did you just
Crypticon cut a lot.
Who invented green bean casserole, the one with the French fried onions on top? A green bean farmer, Campbell's soup recipe developer, a Durkee employee, or famed TV chef Julia Child?
I'm going to say a Campbell's soup recipe developer.
You would be absolutely correct, my friend. Absolutely correct. And you know what? God bless this person. I mean, how can you go wrong putting French fried onions on top of anything?
I'm a huge fan.
A big fan. True or false? Your dislike of Brussels sprouts might be genetic.
I can believe that's true.
Yeah, it is. Some people have a gene variant called TAS2R38 that allows them to taste certain bitter compounds, such as those found in Brussels sprouts.
What do you mean allows? I can taste it. They're bitter as fuck and smell like ass. You're not supposed to eat Brussels sprouts.
Are you kidding me? No, cooked properly. And it's sad that you have to put that disclaimer on front. Cooked properly.
It's my James Harden face.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Anyway, here we go. That's it. So you got 8 out of 12, my friend. You know what? As an educator, well done. You get a C plus.
Yeah, I was gonna say I took a C plus on that one, but
A
it's
C
okay.
plus on that.
It's okay.
It's average plus, which means that you're, top
I'm
40%.
slightly above average.
Exactly. And that's what he said to her. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm slightly above average. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to the Hey Aaron segment and to the Evan and Aaron show. Guys, listen, I'm Evan, and this is my second favorite part where my buddy gets to send us out on a high note. And man, I tell you what, had a good time just chatting with you tonight. I've missed you this week. I've had a hard week, man, just work wise, and so anyway, brother, love you. Send us out with something good, man.
This week I want to talk about just the things people get outraged about. And a sitting member of Congress picked a fight with a large yellow bird on a children's show because he claimed that Big Bird giving an announcement that kids can now get the vaccine was government propaganda. Well, he may not be wrong, but I remember watching G.I. Joe as a kid. I remember watching Spider-Man as a kid. I remember watching a lot of Saturday morning cartoons. And you know what? If you're just now waking up to the idea that the people who make cartoons and children's programming are pretty fucking progressive, or to use your botched ass term now, woke, well, you weren't paying attention, because when we were kids, knowing is half the battle. How many times did Spider-Man tell you to do things? How many times did Popeye was telling you to eat your spinach? Most cartoons were thinly veiled, let's get that right, thinly veiled ads. So the fact that the government got in on it, and let's face it, Captain America was anti-fascist, and that was front and center in those comic books. And Big Bird is in no way the first children's character to be advocating for good health issues in this country. I bet you can go back to the 90s, 80s, 70s, maybe all the way back to the 60s. I bet the second TV was invented, somebody said, you know what? We can influence public opinion this way. And it's a shame that a public health issue has been politicized this way. Because I don't remember people going, oh, Spider-Man's a liberal. He's all anti this, anti that. Like, I don't remember that. Maybe they did. Because I do remember that when people want to pass seatbelt laws or motorcycle helmet laws, oh, that's fascism, that's government overreach. Nah, that's safety. That's saying we're taking a vested interest into things. I guess my point is, we seem to be losing sight of the things we've all seen ourselves. Why would you have experienced something in your life personally and allow somebody else to tell you didn't? That's gaslighting, folks. And there's no place for it. I'm not asking you to switch sides. I'm asking you to acknowledge when the people you believe in don't live up to the values that you claim to purport. Maybe those aren't your people. Maybe those aren't your values. Or maybe they are your values and they're definitely not your people. But it's worth a second look, because a guy who abandoned his own constituents to go south of the border while they were in need decided that one of the greatest characters in Sesame Street history wasn't telling you the truth. Well, don't believe liars when they lie to your face. But when they tell you who they are, Fucking A, believe him straight up. So, folks, that's my lesson for this week. My advice. I got no lessons. My advice for this week. Just give a second thought when somebody says something that you're like, no, wait a second. I lived through that. That's not right. That's not right at all. And maybe, just maybe, you come to some new conclusions. Otherwise, as ever, I thank you all for tuning in. I love my friend. I love all of you. Evan?
Black Texans vote.
Vote, folks. Vote your asses off. Love you all.
Vote.
Take care.